have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And I'll tell you what, we have so much going on here, and I'm so happy to have Jenny on to give us her perspective on what she's seeing and knowing. So let me bring Jenny Lee on. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
How are you doing?
Hanging in there. I'm doing pretty good.
Good. That's great.
Thank you. Things seem to be happening at a very rapid pace.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it needs to be, actually. I mean, the Band-Aids are being ripped off left and right, and we don't want for it to be a calm process that we're going into. We need reality on a consistent, I don't care if it's hourly or every 30 minutes, but something needs to happen quicker. If I would look at this, I would say definitely a faster pace would be even better. I mean, people are like, it's enough. And I'm like, yeah, I can go faster. I'm good.
But we want to get there, and we want to get there now.
Right.
And
exactly.
All this, I mean, let's face it, it's been dilly-dallying around for a long time already. I mean, 4 years of horrific thing, one after another, and now it's all being dismantled. And thank goodness for that. So where do you want to start? We were going to talk about debt. We were going to talk about Elon Musk and future tech. Where do you want to?
You know, Elon Musk, because he's been entertaining this week and very, he's getting on the DOG's nerves, and he is divulging into the VA, which the VA is a cesspool of lazy ass employees that do nothing. And you can ask.
I worked at the VA many years ago.
My God.
Yes,
lazy
they are.
ass. There's ones that work efficiently, and there's the ones that do nothing, and they should have fired them a long time ago. And I hope they get it down to the VA, down to 14% of the employees that actually get up and do their job. So fire them.
Yeah.
Because the whole government is saturated with people not doing anything.
They've been there forever.
And they're upset because now they have to go to a building again and actually go to a job and actually work again. So get rid of them. We're done. We're cutting the huge fat of the government. And so they can stand in the employment line and figure it out what it feels like to actually work, because they're not doing it. I mean, like they said, when they're talking about, what they're doing, like at the IRS and all that stuff, and how they're wasting money, and they're the ones that's supposed to analyze us, and they're doing worse than society. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, just to give you an idea, I worked at the VA 2.5 years, and there was a transfer involved in there. And I couldn't handle it much longer than that, because it took forever for anything to change. Mm-hmm. Even when you brought it forward and tried to discuss it and so on,
and that's the game, to avoid.
There's a few good people there, but they're few and far between. So I had to leave. It was way too slow for me.
Well, I think once he starts opening up that Pandora's box, you'll see a bunch of stuff that's not gotten done. It's going to be pretty disgusting the way they treat the VA patients and everything.
Exactly. And one of the things that I remember in particular that was going on when I was there was they kept denying any cases related to Agent Orange, as if that was an okay substance, which obviously it's not. So I felt bad for people because they would turn them away left and right.
Yeah, they do. And that's the thing. And deny. I mean, it's a game. They're all part of that propaganda, and they just. I have a friend that works there, and I just said, you don't expect to see anything in the morning. You wake up and you go to work, and this person's gone, that person's gone. They're just trimming the fat. They already know who needs to go, who's efficient, and who's not. They already know. So, and that's in every part of the government that needs to be completely annihilated and trimmed down.
Well,
Across
wasn't
the
it
board.
Julian Assange that said by the time they get done, there'll be lucky if there's 10% of the 10 or 5%
Government.
of the
Yeah,
government left. Yeah.
exactly. Because that's all it is. We just trim the fat down.
There's so many departments that they have created that we don't even know about.
Well, yeah, it's just propaganda to cover up what they're spending. That's all it is. These
And
are not real
departments, yeah.
positions.
And departments were a part of the Nazi regime as well. So that's where they got departments from.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's just um, that's the whole thing. It's just people. We weren't focused. We weren't paying attention. We weren't paying
Yeah.
attention to detail. And now everything's in. Elon Musk is going to put it all out there. And I saw it today where he's going to make it so everybody can watch and analyze what they're trimming and what their government's spending on and what they're doing. He's turning it into an open book, and he needs to do that. That's what they're afraid of. The Democrats are so afraid of him right now. They're so afraid what he's going to reveal. They can't stop it. The big pharma and big money people behind there are pushing these politicians to say, you got to stop him. Well, you can't. They can't do anything. They are weak as hell. They are weak. They are weak before this happened, and they are still weak. They can't do nothing on any process of this. Sorry, I'm just fixing this. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to change.
And the change is going to be so much better for the people. We the people.
Right, exactly. And so if you're not doing your job, you need to go. If you're not being efficient and helping and filling the positions and you are not fulfilling the job task, you need to go. And I want to see all these people that work for the government. I want to let them sit in the unemployment line. Let them sit and rot the way they wanted everybody else to.
Yeah, the ones that have been there for eons. And look at some of these politicians. Oh my God, who is it? Mitch McConnell has fallen down several times. I mean, he's not fit to be in that position anymore.
No, not at all.
And,
I mean, all of them. There's
yeah,
so many that need to go
exactly.
across the board.
Somebody has a question for you here. Why do we need these new licenses still to fly? I'm not sure what licenses you're referring to.
There's no license to fly. I haven't heard that.
You have to explain that question a little more, if you don't mind, Lori. So tell us what you mean, what you're referring to. Here's another one for you. Otherwise, I'll miss them if I don't give them to you right away. Jenny, can you please tell why would deal with Netanyahu, who is the biggest evil abusing children?
Why would he deal with them? Well, he's known for putting the enemy right in front of your face and his face and making them a display. So yeah.
And having them disintegrate themselves, basically, right?
Right. Yes. I mean, that is the allowing the snake in. And it's right in front of you. And the thing about that is, even with the Democrats, there's the arrogance that they think they're so superior, and they're finding they're not. And they're still, in a reality that they can't access certain things, they're not going to be able to. I don't care what type of voice you do now. Your time is done. Your party's going to be dismantled completely across the board. Any party that looks at a child and turns the other direction as they're harmed and mutilated, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Absolutely.
And they got no money. They're done. They have no money either.
That's when things are really going to start falling apart.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. corporation is dead.
Yes, it is.
And all the states were like franchises of it. Mm-hmm. The cities and municipalities, same thing. Counties, same thing.
Here's a reality. You want to know if the Democratic Party's dead? Look at Hollywood. It's dead. It's done. It's over. There's your cesspool of the party. They're done. Those people really thought they were never going to be touched. No one could touch them. Well, guess what? They're gone.
Yeah, well, they were doing some horrific things, that's for sure. And all that's going to come out too. And wait till people find out. They're going to freak out.
Oh,
and rightly
God.
so.
Yeah, it's a done. Over.
Here's someone that claimed that I'm divided with Elon. He has been on both sides, black and white. What gives?
Maybe because he confuses you on purpose. This is the master chess game. You can't tell what side he's serving or what he's doing. It's a deliberate strategy and process. And Trump's been doing it too. I mean, you confuse them on purpose. And that keeps you ahead of the game. That is why. Completely across the board. It's the best thing that he could do.
Well, here, look at this one. This is interesting. Linda says, I worked DOD for over 10 years. They move the lazy around and they never fire them.
I know. Because they're such rats of covering, rats' information up, and they just move them around. They don't do anything with them. And I'm telling you, they need to go in. Elon Musk needs to go into the VA with a hammer. I don't care if he brings a sink or a hammer and just completely, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. He already knows. And I said it today. Trim the fat, especially in that area, because let me tell you, if you asked the VA, the veterans, they would tell you the VA sucks.
Yep.
Across the board. And they're not doing their job, and they know they're not doing their job. They want to pass the buck on to someone else. So I say, let them go. You can't do any worse. They're not doing their job. They're not helping. Get rid of them.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. I haven't heard this, but it should be, if we are getting the constitutional republic back, and people need to lose the word democracy. Not what we want. It's a constitutional republic. That's what's being restored. And technically, we're supposed to have the right to travel unencumbered. So all these other extras that they put on just are money-making tools.
Yeah, another propaganda. That's all it is. It's always turned into a propaganda.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
I was just reading that. I worked as a consultant for a project re-implementing a new Medicare product for a county in Minnesota. Many county employees' desks, and they were playing solitaire.
Yes. They don't.
And they're usually pretty highly paid, I would think.
See, and this is the thing. I'm going to tell you what's coming. So with the new money that's coming in, at some point, Minnesota's a big state that they need to chop the chopping block on that one. The federal needs to cut the state's money and say, these are the guidelines. You don't go by the guidelines, you're not getting the money. So you can trim the employees that don't work anyway, that don't do the job anyway. Minnesota is one of the worst states out there. And I'm just telling you, they need to trim the fat on that one, because it's a drain completely across the board. So the the government needs to have these higher standards, and they have to go by the guidelines, or the states shouldn't get the money, period. I mean, you have to understand what they were talking about, that what Elon Musk is dealing with is the fact that they just sign checks. They don't even care. They don't say no. They just keep signing checks. Well, someone needs to bring in structure and balance. And they're mad because they can't act like the spoiled child that they are, and can't understand the blood, sweat, and tears that people pay for taxes. And you can't use and manipulate the situation. You can't use and manipulate the system anymore. No, it's awful. So I'm just saying,
we're done.
We're done. The DOG needs to put the states on high alert on watching them on a scope level, and they're not going to get away with it either.
Yeah, well, the big thing of it is that many people don't really understand that is the business nature of how everything's been. The United States Incorporated was a business for profit, and every state was a franchise of that corporation, and so were the counties and cities. It's all going down. They're not going to get their money anymore. They're going to have to figure out a different way of doing things because the free lunch is no longer available.
No, and they can't just have what they want to blow it. And that's where I'm telling you, like with contractors and everything, they blow up just the bids for contracting just to make it a higher bid, just so it's all stretching the numbers out on purpose so they can con. So I think all the contracts for all the divisions that we have, for all the projects, they need to be rebidded again, resubmitted again. They need to cut the trim, the fat on that. Look at all that, because that's another scam on its own.
Mm-hmm. Well, then we have the whole the corruption in the court system and the money making, where there's no justice in the court system. It's all about making money. And I just posted.
I mean, you guys are going to be shocked when the white buses just full of people left and right, because it's just one big con after another con. That's all it is. It's saturated in it.
It's sickening what's going on once you really find out what's been going on all for a long time.
Right. I mean, it's just, so, I mean, they're at a point, it's going to boil over. It's already boiling over, and they just need to pull the cord and just pull them.
Skywatcher, Rocky Mountain Skywatcher says that would be great if it's actually transparent, and we're moving in that direction. The people spoke. The American people spoke. That's why they got Trump in. Because
they spoke in 2020 and they spoke now. I mean, we all know that, 2020 they already decided that, and then 2024 is the same thing. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. The first arrest is Biden. And with him being arrested, because the way that they make him look and how stupid he is and has no conscience and makes fumble decisions, was just going to, and his process is just to rat them all out because he's weak like that, and that's the way it's going to come out. It's all just one big cesspool. That's all it is.
So that's the arrest that will shock the world that they've been talking about then.
Yes. They need, and that's the thing. It's just going to lead to more across the board. I mean, it's just like, you're going to look around and go, is anybody good anymore? Is there any good people left? Because I'm wondering. Because they're all been just had pay to play. They all did it. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And they all need to be shot down across the board. So it's just part of the process.
Oh, here's something. Here's a quote. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Okay. President Trump posted that the World Fairs won't begin until May 2028. Originally, it was this year. Any insights on that?
The World's Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna continue. On this process, I mean, the whole thing is there's everything is going to be shut down. I mean, you have to understand what's happening. We are in a process that the old laws, the old ways, all that stuff is being completely dismantled, and we're resubmitting a new process. And in that process, people are not going to react to that in a good way. I'm just telling you. It is something that they're all freaking out about. You guys, I think you're ready for the arrest, but you're not. I mean, and some of them are not. I mean, to see so many that are going down, there's not an area that is not saturated with corruption.
I think the good guys have been just shocked themselves at the level of corruption and the number of people involved in the corruption.
The numbers. It's all, farming, everything. It's just everybody paid them off on everything to get lands, to get into lands, to pay off. It's all about who you know and who you're connected to, so you can manipulate someone and get what they have. That's the whole thing. So the IRS is at the cesspool of that. The CIA is at the cesspool of that on everything. It's a trickle effect on everything. That's the whole thing. I mean, and they wonder why people don't trust other people anymore, because we know it's saturated in negativity and buying people off. And that's the point, that we didn't want to be in this world at all.
That's the whole problem right there. And that's because everything's been a business for profit. So they don't care about anything else except profit, which is acquired by gaining assets, whether that be money, land, position, whatever. And that's going down.
Right. And it's in every field. It's in the spiritual field. It's in the UFO field. It's in the YouTube field. Okay? That's why I keep telling you, people, you follow the money. You follow the product pushing. And that's what you see on the Democrats. What's behind the Democrats? Big Pharma. You can't let them take us down. We paid you to represent us. Okay, whatever. You signed the deal with the devil, and now you pay the cost.
Well, the very fact that they've hidden behind a corporate United States means that many of them, their first loyalty is not to the American people, it's to the owners of the corporation, who happen to be foreigners. So these people are actually treasonous because of it.
Yeah, and that they've already established that, and that's the whole thing. Yeah. Well, it's just one big swamp cesspool of buy them all.
Good riddance.
God. That's all it is. And now they're getting offended and upset because their lives are being exposed. Well, you know what? I think on this process, it's not just, pay to play. It's what you allow to happen with the children. There's a different hell on the other side for you that they don't have to look forward to, because they also played that game too. So that's the problem too. I mean, you just look at everybody and go, does anybody have a soul anymore? Does anybody care anymore? That's the problem. And you're finding out the whole process of the White House and the whole government. No, very few and far. So what Trump did is what no one would attempt to do. Is to
I heard he's off
really
planet.
get into the corruption and call it out for what it is without getting completely obliterated or killed. Is he off the planet? He's,
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't.
For safety reasons.
Right.
Because they definitely want to assassinate him. I mean, it's just unreal. There's some people talking about the new, or called a real ID. I don't see how that's going to fly either. But people have to start saying no, because even on an individual one-person level, because one of the things that I keep saying is people go, well, I'm just one person. I can't do anything. Said 100 million Americans, that's a problem.
The problem is people need to grow some balls.
Yes.
That is the problem. And that's the thing, like I said, I mean, in the process of, I'm a alpha female, and I definitely would not feel safe unless I was in front of an alpha male and feeling that security. I'm just telling you, we need some people with balls out there. And I don't know what purse they're in or where they went, but people, they don't want to even look at dealing with issues or have someone else do it first. No, we need to get back to doing it. And I'm talking men and women. Period. Grow some balls.
Say no.
Stand up.
Stand up and say no.
Right, exactly.
The more people do it, it's like, in a crowd when somebody starts doing a standing ovation, first one will stand up, then another will stand up, then another, then all of a sudden everybody stands up. That's what we need. That's where we got to get to.
I think the deep state has collected everybody's balls and is carrying it in one big purse. I swear to God. I don't know where they went. But I'm just telling you. It's ridiculous.
Well, it was funny. Somebody was saying about how, everybody's been brainwashed, poisoned, and it's kind of hard to think straight. In trying to give them trying to figure out a reason for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And they are poisoning our food, water, and air, everything we need to survive. And but we're like the Energizer Bunny. We just keep going.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. I mean, it's not going to end. We're going to keep going on this process. Period. And so, I don't care how pissed off people get at Elon Musk. He's doing what he needs to do. He's pissing off the people that needs to be pissed off. Get used to it. You're going to see more of it. They're going to be crying and whining more as more are exposed. And so the Democrats can create whatever parade they want. They're not going to get in the building. They don't have access. They can't get into the information. You're shut down. You're not trusted. You're done.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people they barred from the Pentagon and the different federal buildings.
Yeah. You can't get in. No access. No trust. United States people in America do not trust you no more. Sorry. No more access. Just saying. Denied. I'm just telling you, it's just going to get worse.
A couple of people are seeing this, and I would tend to agree. I don't think we're seeing the real Elon.
No, it's been a while.
And but as far as the vast majority of the public, to them, it's the real Elon. So they're Elon. So they're concerned, but he's doing what needs to be done.
Right.
And how do you like that U.S. aid?
Which
money
one?
laundering? Anyway, you have some other things that you wanted to share, so go for it.
Well, I mean, okay. So I don't know if anybody's noticed that they called out the debt collectors. The debt collectors are not legal no more. They can't do. They did a list of all that stuff. I got it in both of my groups, but so that tells me they're setting the stage for when everything starts to roll out, and then you can't have these people. First thing you want to do is the whole con process, because I guarantee you the debt collectors are part of the con process in the first place. So anyway, they're calling them out. They're giving you heads up before all this process is happening. So I think we're getting ready to, that's the thing for me, is the debt forgiveness. The debt forgiveness that has to come in, because we have to stimulate a new economy, stimulate a new golden age. You got to give money away to get things stimulated. You got to move it, and so we can't keep holding off and holding off. We got to get it stimulated. There's certain things that they know that these certain avenues, the first thing they're going to do when they start to put new money out there is you're going to have these, I call con projects, and they have to shut them down before they even start, because not everybody is aware of everything. And I'm sure they're worried about the elders is one of the biggest things. The Social Security changes, the amount of Social Security changes. Everybody's going to be like, this is wrong, this is wrong. That's the first thing that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to have all these problems at once because it's a conscience of enslavement. We have to get out of that process, that we have to understand that things are changing on a vast level very quickly. And in you putting your head in the sand for 4 years is not going to do them very good at the end of this situation. They're going to be lost. And now they're going to be afraid of what's happening because they're not ahead of the game. And so now you have to refocus on the conspiracy theories out there and go talk to those friends that you thought were crazy because they weren't with the program. So
I think it was Vincent Kennedy who said in a small little talk clip that I saw that the people are the conspiracy theorists are 35-0 being correct. Right. So it's we've been called conspiracy theorists for pointing out the truth, and so not that I care, but we will be vindicated.
So, and I've talked about it, and this is the thing about it. The debt clock, you guys, come on. That thing is so old. I mean, really, you got to look at that clock. How long has it been around? And it's not updated. It's nothing. We have to get to a point of humanity. It's not even debt. Humanity abundance, and we need a new platform for that. And we need to see the numbers, and they need to have your eyes need to be focused on what's going on and where the money's going and all that stuff. So keeping it on, the debt clock needs to be gone. Dismantled. It's old.
No, and besides, debt. It's not we the people that created all that debt.
No, not at all.
We don't owe it.
The cons do. They're everywhere. But and that's the whole process of this is we are in a world now where everything's being dismantled. I mean, you got the cops, the attorneys, everything. Everybody's wondering if they're going to go to jail. Everybody's wondering. And that's why if you're thinking of someone that was probably working for the deep state or the Masons, they're probably trying to figure out, well, how can we leave the country? Where can we hide? Where can we go? Where can I hide the money? What bank account can I transfer it to? You can't.
Yep.
It's all tied in. And that's the whole thing. They can turn them off on a switch across the board. So that's what's changing in this whole process. I mean, so I keep telling people, I'm like, it's the money I'm not focused on. I'm focused on the debt being completely gone. Because that's when you just completely hold your breath. All the loans, it doesn't matter if it's personal, home loan, car loan. It has to flip. It has to have a restart point. And that's why when I talked about the guidelines, they have to start coming out with guidelines. And that's what I'm waiting to see, these guidelines. Well, I mean, they're separating them in divisions, but they really need to understand that there's going to be a lower bracket of mindset that's not going to understand any of that. And you're going to have a massive confusion among them of what they can do and what they can't do, because they're used to being told what to do and where to go and how to think. And and the education, he's dismantling the education. And I can tell you that's another one that's going to get down to a 14%.
Boy, they're programming our children, and they're programming them with all that LBJ, whatever. I can't even remember
Right.
the different call letters to that. And the idea of story time with drag queens and stuff like that. And they're asking very young children, are you okay with being a boy?
Oh,
are you okay with that?
well,
Maybe
you know
you're
what? I
not.
would like those teachers to have their breasts removed or their penis removed. I'm sorry. You did it to them. Let's do it to you. Because you forced that. Because I'll tell you what, the education, the teachers union, wait till the money trail follows on that end. Just saying, it's coming too.
There's some big changes coming.
Yeah.
Because so much corruption. Unbelievable.
It is. And it's not stopping.
Now, someone was saying that they didn't have a birth certificate with me, so I could not get a passport added onto driver's license. All that stuff's going to go away. That's all going to go away. And do you have any?
I think it's going to go away. I mean, the birth certificate's just a stock, that you are a stock.
You're a chattel of the government.
Yeah, that's all you are. So, yeah, and the only thing you need that to is collect the money that they sold on you with a bond on the market. That's what you need it. Because you're just a bond on that. And our parents just wrote it off and said, "Here you go." No. Not
Someone from the Netherlands is asking when their government will be removed. I think America is setting the pace.
Yes, it is. They're the first one, and the UK and America, and that's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be a new celebration that's coming. It has nothing to do with, our new government or anything like that. It's a different celebration of humanity and seeing how things are changing in abundance for humanity. I just believe that's happening. I don't even believe this weekend, this whole football stuff that they're worried about, the whole Super Bowl. And I'm like, it's all pay for play. It's done already. And they got it in their heads that this is a real game. And they're really doing this on a fair process. They're not.
Oh, people don't like to hear that the games are rigged. They don't like to hear that as one of the biggest places, worst of all, for child trafficking.
Right. So don't think that game's going to be just like a normal game. There's going to be some other stuff going on with that whole situation. Because, I mean, what do they, I mean, people build up to do that, thinking that this is going to impact someone's life. But really, not in that way, because it'd be different. It was on fairness, but it's not on fairness at all.
No.
In any process. So that needs to change.
It's so corrupt. It's hard for people to wrap their head around it. How could it be that bad? But it is.
It is. Because they don't want to wrap their head around it. Yeah. Let's get into the religion. Religion is part of all the corruption that's showing up, and how some of the money they got, and they're going to get cut off too. So right now, if anybody needs to be paying taxes right now, it's the damn churches now. That was all about playing the game.
The churches were taking money to push the COVID COVID program.
Yes, they're going down too.
That's good. They've done more harm than good in so many ways. Not that there isn't any good, but it's not needed for that.
Yeah, and the cult people that go to the church and think that they're all good, and like, you are only wanting to see what you want to see and what you want to hear. That's the problem. It's not wanting to see a clear picture of what's really going on every process of what's going on in this world. Such corruption. And yeah, it has to be completely shut down.
Completely.
The plug has to be pulled.
Every single religion, they were created by the same people.
Uh-huh.
And that's what people don't understand. And the very creation had, as part of it, division between, for example, if you're in Islam, you're an infidel if you're not with them. If you're with the Jews, you're a Goem. Christians, I don't think they go to a particular group, but they're also, I'm sorry to say, they can be very hypocritical. And this is not to say
hypocritical. Oh, deny the truth, deny everything, deny.
Exactly.
They're in denial on every aspect. And this is the thing. They think they've done good. I'm like, it's just one question. What have you done for humanity lately? And then no damn answer. Church does not cut it. Church does not cut it. It's a daily thing that you do on a conscious level of giving or paying attention or feeling what happens in front of you, and you ignore it and deny it. You're not living that. It's the propaganda. It's the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when we look back at this time of the 100 years that we've been in, and you look at all this, and it's just going to be saturated with regret.
It is.
Generations and generations.
You're absolutely right.
But the society is at a point, it's not my responsibility. I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't know. You chose not to know. You chose to deny. You just chose yourself. You chose not to get involved. You chose not to look behind the veil. That was the problem. And that's the thing. When this is done and this is over, I mean, a lot of us are just waiting for them to pull the plug, pull the power, pull everything. Because when you plug it back in, it's not going to be there. The existence of it on this process. So we are at a process of, like Jeep says, you should have bought damn puke buckets and started selling them up, because they're gonna need them. You're gonna need so many of those damn puke buckets, because it's true. It's true.
Really. Oh my God! When they find out, and we will at the end, as before, dedicate this to the children, because they're the ones that suffer the most. And as a species, any species that doesn't care for their children will cease to exist. And we got ourselves very close to that point by ignoring things that we should have tried to find out about more and more. I mean, there's a lot of things coming out that, some people have already known for 20 years, and have tried desperately to inform others, and they just wouldn't listen, and they would be called a conspiracy theorist. And that was a term coined by the CIA to discredit whoever they wanted to discredit, because they wanted to be in charge of the narrative and they didn't want anybody challenging it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and all the programs that are out there and all the stuff, and and that's the whole thing. They just keep spewing stuff out, but none of it. Once you call them out on it, they just move to another subject, and that's the program. That's the whole program. And that's the thing. I mean, here we are on a process of this is happening all the time. So the thing that's changing is technology. That's the security. That's the advancement. Travel. How we get from one place to another. I mean, that's a big deal. Where we're going on that. So, yeah, I mean,
I think that's true, Lenore. And they can run, but they really can't hide. They will be found, no doubt about it. Do you know anything about the cache's confirmation? Why it was held up?
well, I don't think it's going to be held up there. I mean, it's just politics. They're trying to
The Democrats
play the
don't
game.
want
Yeah,
him.
play the game.
They
It's
know
just
he'll do something.
that they're not going to be able to get away with it in any way, But yeah, I mean, it's a whole game. They're so afraid of him. He's a
Good.
Jack Nicholson. He's like, I'm coming for you. And you can hold it up as long as you want. And I'm sure there's propaganda behind it, but it ain't going to happen. Because the longer you hold it up, the more suffering you have coming. I'm just telling you. And I'm sure he knows who's a part of it and knows the ones he's going after. So they can hold it up as long as they want. But anybody that they put up there got confirmed anyway. So they're not going to stop it. They would like to, but it's not going to happen.
So, somebody says, we need Elon in Canada now.
Yeah, they do.
You very well may be part of the United States anyway, so things will get handled.
Exactly. And so with change is technology. And technology, like I said, I was seeing something with these taxis. Someone sent me today. Taxis in the sky, which are like big drones that airplanes have gone out a long time ago. They should have been gone for a while. It's Dublin to launch the world's first full air taxi. And we're going into the futuristic cities. Everything's in the future process, and that's the whole thing. The trains, all this stuff that we're going into. Airplanes, we're so over it. We're so
Antiquated.
over the whole process of that. It's so generic. It's at the brink of annihilation of existence. We should have annihilated a long time ago. Because they know the advancement of technology, the way we live in houses, how advanced the energy is, and everything else. We don't need mansions anymore, people. We don't need big houses. We need small community homes that you have everything in it. You don't need that. That's something that they put in your head that you do need. We don't need it no more. Being content, being balanced, being healthy, having everything that you need to access. That's all that matters. Now, we need to get back down to that type of understanding. Future, when you see these future technology and the future communities and the golden age, it's not, there is, the class is the same class, same type of people doing the same thing. They're not in this mid level, but we're not in the advancement and understanding that we really don't need money. That's a human understanding. When we get out of that and understand how things can be efficient as humanity, then that will change. But we got to slowly dial that back, because the enslavement of the money is what's driven the humans, and it's kept us off the scope of what we need to be doing.
It causes a great deal of stress to people. It's the reason
creates an energy
for
of negativity.
crime in order to make ends meet. It's just been all set up to work against us, and now it's being dismantled, and that's the best thing that could happen.
Exactly. And so the whole process of this, and then okay, here's another one. Your prison systems, how much money goes into there and all that stuff. The technology of that advancement could have changed on that too. Here we're going to go, that's going to be another thing that's going to be gutted in the prison systems, and how they're going to deal with certain things. This is the thing. They cater, okay, the ones that should be there, they cater to them, okay? Where you are, Arkansas and Georgia, yeah, they should be on highways, they should be on roads, they should be working, they should not be, having it easy all the time. I'm just telling you.
Well, that whole
really
system
done a true crime, yes, but
was
now
set up on fraud.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So money making, again, everything. So we're down this road again. So
prisons and jails for profit. That's another thing
yes,
people aren't aware
exactly.
of.
So that's the whole thing, is society needs to shut down. It needs to turn the power off. It needs to be completely collapsed. And then when it comes back on, all that is gone. That's the whole thing, is not seeing and expecting those old programs to be implemented again. Your bank systems cannot make money anymore off of you. They can't sell you up a river. I'm going to tell you, insurance is going to go too. That's going to go down.
Oh yeah, they're
river
terrible.
Too.
Yeah.
That's horrible. So I mean,
look at how they canceled all people's fire insurance in California and flood insurance in North Carolina. Oh my God, give me a break. Are you kidding me?
Damn.
Gee, what did they have? Advanced knowledge or what?
Something. It's a scam. The whole process of this is a scam. That's the whole thing. Across the board. That's all it is. So, I mean, so the thing is, where are we going in the weeks to come? And this is what I'm putting out there, and this is what I'm saying. It's time to hold the states accountable for what they have done. The states. It's coming.
They use people's birth certificates, which have been traded on, the stock market and elsewhere, and then they use it against people. And judges are administrators. They're not really judges. They're administrators of the debt. They're there to reduce the debt. And you are the person that's going to pay. And that's the way it's set up.
Right.
It's so deceitful.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and like the thing is the XRP, I'm actually buying some more tonight if I can get some in there. Because I think that's the big thing that's getting ready to launch everything, is the XRP. And it's just like, let it go, just bring it in. This is the thing, and I tell everybody, Trump has to ring in the golden bell. The golden bell has to ring. It's important. And Spirit showed me how that bell is, and there's like a line around that bell that he rings in. That's what rings in the golden age. That has to ring. Just like it has to ring for the kids, the innocence of the kids. This is the ring in the golden age. It's about innocence, okay? And about abundance. So everybody wants to know when the money comes in. That bell has to ring first. I want you to look at the angelic presence and what they use to ring in something. They use horns. They use shofar horns and stuff like that. This is the same process for things to be done and finished and ringing in a new air of time. It has to ring. So, and like I said, Spirit was saying is we as people can't have a certain amount of negativity on this before that light to come in. I'm going to tell you, the sun is different now. You are getting the real orange sun again. And I felt it by feeling it. And I saw it today. So that sun was important. I've told you, I've been waiting for that. So that's one door that's open. Now we're waiting for this new abundance of energy to open up another door. Once that door is open, then that abundance. So the sounds in the sky, like I talked about, waiting for that next level, the stairway to heaven, ringing into the golden ages, all of that whole passageway we have to get into right now. And that's what I'm saying. And they're not, even locally, they're not listening. Like, the communities have to come together to hold each other up, and they're in their own world. They're not paying attention. So I'm like, I guess this is the way it's going to ride out, so you got to hold the line. There's certain points they got to hold the line. Everything's going to collapse the way it needs to collapse, but that bell has to ring. That's what Spirit has told me a long time ago. And that's, who is worthy of the position and to do that. And they were talking about, and this is the thing, and I've talked about the Art of the Covenant, and they're saying the Art of the Covenant is actually in Florida with Trump. So if anybody's done research on the Art of the Covenant, there's only a certain energy can get near that. It's like the 4 angels that don't really look like angels. They look like different types of energy beings that accumulate energy, and to be in front of that, it would just saturate you in a light way. So it's the same thing as the Art of the Covenant. It's about purity and goodness and frequency. So the thing is, all these biblical terms are coming into light and coming into form, coming into our time, and you're seeing it. And this is the biggest thing. And like I said too, the ley lines have to be in an activation mode. And you got to see that your earth is getting ready for those activation modes in that process. It's getting ready for that. Because the mighty angel that proclaims the loud voice, sky, is worthy to break the seals of the scroll, So this is the thing. And then one of the elders says, not to weep, but see the lion, the tribe of Judas, the root of David, the triumph, will be able to scroll into the 7th seal. We are getting close to that process in that whole concept of that. It's important. So, we're at these times, and, people are still in denial. No, we're not. Yes, you are. What's under the Holy Land? What's under the Holy Land that they're calling the Holy Land? Gold. There's thousands of things underneath there that needs to be surfaced to the top. So the ley lines are this alignment with the pyramids. The pyramids are aligning. And all that, and the water's reacting for the activation. Volcanoes are acting for for this activation. It's coming in line.
Mother Earth is speaking.
Well, we're going back to the energy that once protected this planet, and we're reactivating that again. And once that's activated, there's no stopping anything. I mean, you can see in the buildings and all over the world that they hid these churches and what was underneath and all the devices of the energy that was free energy. Go back to the Tartarians. Have they taught us all that stuff? I mean, the history books I'm sorry, just need to be burned.
Yes.
Those are not our history. You have to
I
start
agree.
all over. You got to
Yes.
start all
They
over.
lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, and now they're trying to change it again.
Yes. And it won't do any good. You can change the timeline. Think we're going to forget all this. I'm like, there's just no way. I mean, a lot of us are retaining a lot. How many times did Jimmy Carter die? Holy shit. I'm just saying, some of us remember that crap. It's not going to end. So, this golden age, the golden chair, okay, energy, the chess pieces are in play where we're at on things. You know what I'm saying?
That
Red
is
is the
nice.
royal color, okay? So, that's the whole thing. This is the phase that we're at on things. Everything is guarded. Everything, all the gold is there. All we got to do is finish the shit show up. It's got to finish. They got to put the people in the position that they need to be in. So that's the whole problem now. You're dealing with these little tiny minions of sitting there, and Miss White Dove, Miss Indian herself. I call her Miss White Dove. I don't know if you heard that song, Little Miss White Dove.
I know. Yeah. I know who you're talking.
Oh my gosh, it's a native song, but it's because
Lizzie.
she's not. Yeah, Little Miss White Dove can't cross the river. But anyway, the whole process with that is the thing is she might disappear herself, because this is the process with her. They got paid for what they wanted, they needed to do, and now they're not coming through on their contract. And guess what that does? It just pisses the ones that have paid them to do that, to play that game. These ley lines need to be activated.
How will they activate them, Jenny? How will they be activated?
The pyramids activate these. Everything's connected, and that's why I had, here's the drawing I did. So everything is connected. Pyramids and ley lines are connected all together with energy and all that stuff, and that's what you're feeling on this stuff.
It's not quite in front of the camera, so you move it over a little more. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Much better. Okay.
So we got to get into this activation mode with everything, with energy, with abundance, with the golden age, all this stuff, because all this, like they're talking about the colors of nature that we think are the abundance of nature. That's why you're seeing the purples and the pinks in the skies and these bright blues and all this. You're not seeing, you're going into a 4D and a 5D process now, and we're not used to seeing these bright colors. We actually think that the colors that we see are like the best colors. They're not. There's these other colors that are just stronger in a process, but we don't want to see that. We want to see what we know. We got to stop. So I'm telling you, when Trump's holding a key, the key goes to everything. And they were talking abundance of light, abundance of energy, abundance for everybody in every way. And this is the thing. He's going around claiming this land and this land. He can do that now because he was chosen to pick what needed to be fixed. The people have already chose them for that. Those leaders already chose them. They already know that he's going to do this. He's not just threatening you. He's telling you it's already done. But people are afraid. They're afraid of change. So
change is good.
So now everybody's seeing ships in the skies and big ships in the skies. And one of these bad boys are up there too. Yeah, I think it was South Carolina or somewhere, or over there in North Carolina. And people are now, UFO is just a common thing. They're not phased by it anymore. They're not phased by what they look like anymore. It doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect us. We're at a different conscience of understanding. We've gone past that. We're starting to understand that we've been lied to. So now you have to accept a different reality of change that's coming. Because these fuckers got involved and got in the way. These fucking reptilians. These lizard licks. So anyway, we're in this process now. So an enlightened energy, abundance for humanity, this flow of everything, and this is the thing. If people don't take advantage of what is going to be given to you, what programs are going to be put out there, and you don't want to serve humanity, or you don't want to find a way that serves this world in a better way, I have no excuse for you. You have no excuse for yourself. You should be wanting to serve. If you're in good health, you're going under the med beds, everything is clear, get up, do something, serve society in some way. Because the self-serving your pockets, and that's all it's about, is this is not, that's the old concept. It's not going to be into a new process. Expect these little, what do you call them? Cubes to show up again.
Push it up a little more. Lift it up a little higher. Higher.
Higher.
That way, yeah.
Okay, there's those little cubes I talked about months ago. Yeah, actually a year or so ago, and I expect to see more of these. So, and then these waves of oceans to be moving on the coast more. Looking at New York big time on this one. So a lot of things are happening. You can't stop it. All you can do is flow with the process that's happening, because that's what's being told. It's being presented.
It would be a good idea to believe that it's happening for a good reason, because it is. Because of the corruption. It needs to go.
Well, it does. I mean, you got to understand, though, we're one planet, one tiny little speck in the universe. And for some reason, everybody thinks that that tiny little speck of that one world is in control of everything. It's not. It's not. There's something bigger than this whole situation that's going on. And it's a hard concept to get outside the planet and look what is really activated in this process.
This is true. Oh, and this is back, I guess, when we were talking about the religion aspect. So many are fundamentalists, whether they're Christians, Jews, or Zionists. If they are intolerant of other people and religions, it's fundamentalism, and it's wrong.
It is.
All you need is a direct connection anyway.
I know.
Talk to spirit yourself.
I know, that's it. It's led me in the right direction. And if I listened to anything else, I would have quit a long time ago. But, right now, this is the thing, too, I want to tell everybody. As we get closer to things flipping, the debt flipping, you're getting more calls on, I think, taking one voice and adding to another and acting like it's something. If you don't get something certified in the mail, served to you, or in a written, thicker process paper, a certification, don't reply to it, don't call it, don't do nothing. You have to understand the propaganda is going to put in extreme, because they want money now, because they don't have any sources to go to anymore. So they're doing random calls on cell phones. They're just going through lists, whatever they can do to scam. Shut down. If there's something important, you'll get it in the mailbox. You'll get the certification. Look at the website. There's all kinds of resources. Do not give anybody anything, any credit card, any number, any social security number across the board for a while until it is secured. Don't do it. The scammers are in a whole all-time panic high, because they're their process is going to end too. They won't be able to do what they think they're going to be able to do in the future, and they know they're running out of time. So you need to pay attention to that stuff too. If you don't know the number, don't answer the phone. Just saying.
That's what I do. I get so many calls, and if I don't know the number or they didn't text me first so I know who it is or what it's about,
so
I don't answer.
The process that's happening now is, like I said, when the DOGE is ringed in, everything's implemented. They're already doing the change, already affected in the process. The dismantling phases that you're going to see that's coming in this process. And then the outcry and the outcome and feeling sorry, we don't care. We do not care. It's not our problem. We held you up. Us, the people, held you up. And now you need to fall for the ones that you have hurt, that have put the blood, sweat, and tears on our backs. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time for you to actually learn how to work. So this is just a process that the light's coming in, and you feel it, you sense it. The people are not in the panic mode they were 8 months ago. They see the process happening every day. But one event or to another recognizes that this event's happening. It's been happening. But you're wanting that one event to say it's done. No, you have to stay consistent on the path of witnessing what needs to unfold. It's important because that's going to change you forever in the future. Whether you're going to help lead this world or you're just going to sit back. And we need more leaders right now. We need people to step up. We need people to pull their balls out of some purses and start to apply them. I'm just saying. Wherever they are, you need to find them. Email or mail. I don't care.
Exactly.
You can start with Elena Danon's. She's got a bunch of them in hers. So anyway.
In her purse, yeah.
So anyway, with this process, I mean, collapse. That's all you're going to see for the next 2 weeks, collapsing. Get used to it. Don't expect this Super Bowl just to be a normal Super Bowl either. Look for the white buses everywhere. We can take some questions now.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through to find some. Yeah. A lot of comments. Very good. Well, here's one about future. No planes, trains, and automobiles, anti-gravitational cars, and underground high-speed trains.
Yes.
What about teleportation stations or whatever they would call it?
Well, I think we're getting into phases with that, but we're not there yet. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, people are afraid. They're not at that. It's almost like re-educating, but re-educating the adults too, because they're going to be at a point they can't understand what's going on.
People have been brainwashed and poisoned, so it's very hard for them to get through to them, it seems like. And if they keep watching TV, I think it's hopeless. But anyway, Conspiratory Terry said, we are fixing to be free-range humans. Yes, that's why I named my show Free Range, hoping that we get to that point where we'd actually be free. Because any freedom that we ever thought we had was just an illusion.
Exactly. We weren't, we were told we were free. We were told the definition of free. That's the problem with this. You weren't thinking on your own. What is free? And until you had those independent voices when we were very young and we made our own decisions and we really went against the grain from the education system to all the way growing up, defying. And that spirit within you is just writing out, this is not the truth. This is not the truth. you need to implement change in your life on every aspect of that. So that's the whole thing. You need to, now you really, if you've had that voice and that inner voice that's been talking to you about standing up in the light and holding on to your independence, this is where their voice needs to be heard more. This is where everybody needs to start standing up against it. Not just say it, not just share in groups and say one or two little things. It's really, you got to back it up now. Because you guys want
everything
change?
is
People have to step in.
up. Yes. Everything out there is a scam or corrupted in such a way that people haven't recognized it, and it's time to recognize it, and it's time to stand up against it. I mean, we have so many people saying, like I said earlier, that I'm just one person, I can't do anything. Said 100 million Americans. Come on, that's not true. You can do something, and you're not only, this is when people really need to come together. It's so important.
But that is the veil of understanding. That is another program I've been taught. I can't do anything. Another program. It's a concept of the conscience of looking at things in directions, and the truth speaks. People listen to the truth. And you got to talk in volumes of listening, and they need to come together as a collective now. That's the whole thing. The collective needs to start working.
Yes. That's what we haven't come to that point yet. We're getting there.
Yeah, it's been a hard concept, but yeah.
There's somebody asking if you know how to buy XRP.
Oh, I should. Do I know how? I know how. I just haven't decided which one I'm going to do it tonight.
Yeah, I've been looking at that too. There's a lot involved if you're not real familiar with all that crypto and so on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But XRP is a good one. It definitely is a good one.
And it's the one that's going to push everything
over. Rocky Mountain's saying that. How do you respond to this? We shouldn't need XRP if we get our straw man or even most of it. Have zero extra to invest, just surviving.
True,
that's how everybody
thinks that. But the thing is, the XRP is ringing in the golden age. No matter what, you'll have it. Do I think this XRP is going to stay at a potential process? But I think it has about ringing in the new era, period. And then that's it. So, at this process of it, am I going to invest after this? No. I'm looking at this one time, and then that's it. I pull back from that, and then everything else should be at abundance. So it depends on what you feel in your gut instinct, what you feel that you can put your time and energy into. This game of staying above or staying ahead of the whole process of everything. This is the thing, this is where you're going to have a problem with society. You give society way too much money too fast. They're thinking about what they haven't had, but they're not thinking about what they just need. They need a house, they need a place, and allowing the higher technology to ring in the advanced cars, all the new stuff that's coming in, period, across the board. And so anyway, that process is changing. And so we have to shine the light. We have to stay in the light and hold this line and not letting people push you over. Period.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Someone's asking, what are all those weird sounds in the sky around the world? One sounds like Saturn trumpet sounds, monsters, all kinds of crazy shit.
Well, the fog is up there for a reason. All the ships that are up there, all the stuff that's being developed above. The golden age is going to be above us. So I mean, it's like creating a whole new world above us. And that's the thing. It's all changing. Everybody thinks the land where we are is the most valuable. You're going to be surprised at what we could do in the air. That's what's going to happen. That's what's being developed. It's changing. So, however they're going to expose it, they need to hurry up because I'm ready. We're ready. Just get it done. Pull the curtain.
Forever Unlimited said 90 earthquake swarms around Santorino volcano. I don't know if I said that correct. Many earthquakes off the west coast. Will we see volcanoes going off?
Yes, it's part of the process. It has to. It's not done on the volcano process at all on this. And the European area is a big one. It's just they keep saying, and this is the thing, people talk about Yellowstone. I just don't see Yellowstone going. They don't show me that one. They just show me, the European side of things is going to get strong in that area. But yeah, I'm not seeing.
Okay, so somebody says not many will be able to handle such wealth when it comes. Be careful what you ask for. Sure, it will be great, but how responsible will you be? This will be what the Alliance will be watching for. What do you think of that, Jenny?
Well, and then that's the thing. I mean, how responsible. I guess, what it has to do with the mentality. I don't have a concept of thinking that spending makes me happy. I'm probably the opposite of it. I just don't care because I'm like, oh, big deal. This is the thing. You got to understand. You go to a store, you buy something, 2 minutes later, it doesn't do anything for you. You figure that concept is just like
temporary high.
Yeah. For what reason? Just get with the things you need that make you comfort, and that's it. Don't get all the glimmer and the glamour process of it. I'd rather be in nature, rather be around horses, rather be around cows, rather be around that environment is more enriched to me than anything.
I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, on in this process of things, I mean, my father was a very stubborn old cowboy, just the most stubborn, and he was raised that way, and that concept of being the old ways is, I like that. The alpha male, the being in concept. Oh shoot, oops. In that concept of that. It's just a process. Sorry. I did someone.
Somebody's asking if we activate the pyramids. How do the pyramids get activated? So they activate the ley lines. How does that happen?
Well, they always showed me this green, which is like an emerald green. It has to be on a process over activation of something coming over those pyramids to activate it. So yeah, it's a process.
Isn't there something missing on the top of the pyramids? I don't know why I'm thinking that.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's green. They show you the emerald green that has to do with that concept of being in that process completely across in a triangle process way. So that piece, that center piece has to be implemented. How that gets implemented before that activation into the ground gets activated again. And remember, they said some crust of the ground will open up because some of those is like a puzzle that's all connected at once, and how that comes back online again as it was before in the past that they've hidden across the board.
I agree. Abundance is our birthright, and it was taken from us, actually.
Right.
With the birth certificate, as a matter of fact. Oh my goodness, how they use things against us.
So
Let's
you got to
see.
be starting to look for higher technology, travel advancement, everything with robotic, everything. Stop worrying about AI shit. Stop worrying about that name. Stop worrying about the fear of it. The quantum system's involved in the process, and it's going to be safe and fine. Everybody throws at AI, and it's just another program. They're trying to put fear into the process. Don't buy into it.
Well, New York says this, and I think a lot of people feel this way. I'm so tired, especially the people that have been awake and that are, it's just see it dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. And so many of the normies, so to speak, that say that they don't,
we
holding
would
us
just be
back.
happy at this point of waiting for the fact of that level of when they're going to exit and show those programs that are actually programs. And so we can get verification that we knew that they were programs. So waiting for that, we would love to all see that. So just to bring in that verification and all the, this is the thing, all the state laws and everything else is going to be dismantled because it's not legal anymore on a lot of concepts. And they're
It's
trying to show you that.
unconstitutional.
Yeah. And they're trying to get people to understand that. And I mean, boy, we're going to go back to the Old West a little bit. Just saying, a little bit.
Somebody's asking about is the East Coast in any danger or just New York?
I just get New York. It's just a process that's going to happen there.
Yeah, this is true, Kevin, as far as I would say that's true. What about you, Jenny?
Oh,
Says
yeah.
do whatever. I think money won't be needed after another 20 or 30 years. Still going to try to leave my grandkids a legacy, though. You probably won't have to.
Yeah,
I think what you want for your grandkids to know that you were in the fight.
Exactly. And
You stood up. You held the line.
And you had balls.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Male or
Bring
female,
back balls.
use them.
Oh, what happened to the
Bring it
men? I
back.
don't know.
I'm just saying. But, it's just a concept of being tough and standing up when you need to stand up instead of towering down and hiding and denying the position you need to be in to stand up for society. Do it. It's time to do it. So.
This is interesting. Trump assigned a new guy to the HUD. However, HUD requires tax return in order to negotiate the lease for seniors. That's BS. That's got to change. That's unconstitutional.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
That's going to go away.
That's going to go. Yeah, that's got to change too. So we're just going to have to see what happens at the very end of it all this process. But yeah, I can take one or two more questions, and I gotta.
Yeah, I'm looking for them. They're coming. There's a lot of things moving really quick. I'm scrolling. Yes, Jenny's definitely one of the authentic ones, which is exactly why I do shows with her.
And I'm working on, so Spirit's got me, they're like coffee time and mini downloads, coffee time, mini downloads. So, because right now we're at this concept that things are happening so fast and then I'm doing stuff with my groups and stuff like a little different for what I think needs to be placed in, because now it's about the future. Everything's about the future. Where are we going from here? How the change is happening from here out.
Thank you. If you block the bot or troll in the house, I missed it. Let's see. Oh, that's disgusting. Yep, we had. I'm going on a block list. You say nasty stuff, I'm gonna have to block you. Anyway, block the bot. I'm trying to. Someone is asking me about, or has asked us about, and this is the second time it's been asked, is about talking with Ishmael Perez. We could, since we're going to be doing a show on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock on a regular basis now, there will be times when we might have an additional guest.
Yes. And Jeep's coming on with me and Gail too.
Yes. Yes, we'll have Jeep on too. Beep, beep, Jeep. I can't help it. I have to say that. Okay, well, I guess, actually, Jenny, we are on an hour and a half, and we really need to cut off when we get to that point because it gets hard to upload and download and all that kind of stuff. So,
yes.
Thank you so much. And I'm so happy we're going to start a regular show. And it's always fun, and I always enjoy the
We'll see
listening
you guys next
audience.
Thursday. Next Thursday at 7.
Oh, okay. That should be, it is, the 13th.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. We love to have you. We love to hear what you have to say.
Before we got the bell.
Oh, that's right. Don't let me
I
forget.
can't forget that.
Okay. Let's do it for 1 minute.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. And this is for the children. I lost track, so thank you.
That's okay. So
all right, everyone. Remember, that is for the children. That's what started all this, and that's what this is all about in the long run.
It is.
Once again, thank you, and we'll see you again next week.
Stay in the light. Good night.
Stay in the light. Much love to all out there. Thank you. Spread it, stand up, and help make things happen.